you understand what's going on. We only just realized that it's Friday the 13th this morning. However, one person did not forget, and it was City Boy. She never mentioned it to anybody because
And you know
she
why?
did not want to jinx the
No,
day.
you know why? You know why? Because
Why?
she has parascavidecatraphobia.
I know what that is. The fear of the 13th, isn't it?
She has that, so...
You're really not talking... All right, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about history. Let's talk about history.
Yes, well, hey, there are many beautiful places all over Nigeria. You are a globetrotter in yourself.
In
Go
Nigeria,
around-
trotter,
in Nigeria,
mostly.
you will still take that bike outside Nigeria. We know.
Eventually. Definitely.
So, but there are some places that you just wish, you know, were better maintained. You know, and especially when I'm moving around Lagos with my children, there are some certain places that when you're driving past, you point to it and you're like, oh, that's the National Stadium. Oh, that's the National Theater. And then you know those conversations start, you know, and then you say, I wish I could, you know, I could visit the place and see it look better. And one of such places is TBS.
Tafawa Balewa Square.
Tafawa Balewa Square. When you're driving past TBS, you first of all see the horses.
Magnificent horses.
Beautiful.
Always a sight to see ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gates. So those gates are quite iconic. They're huge masterpieces, obviously specially crafted for that particular location. So yesterday I came across a post that basically was talking about the fact that the gates were being taken down and being replaced with seemingly
Ordinary bars.
Ordinary bars. I saw that first post. I was like, okay, let me read through it. Let me see what it's all about. And I saw pieces of the gate being cut and put into piles by the
Oh,
side.
they're actually being cut?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Cut into pieces.
It looks like junk after.
It does look like junk, but these were likely crafted by extremely skilled historic craftsmen from back in the day. The likes of Emokpai, for instance, probably had a hand in the design, you know, that kind of thing.
To fit that edifice, I mean, you would imagine that a lot of work would have been put into those gates.
Exactly.
For them to be replaced. However, I would like to think that there's a reason for them being replaced.
Okay.
But it is the nonchalance with which it's being replaced. Well, let's just put a couple of bars in there. That'll do. But for something that's a national monument, I understand where the hashtag and the move is coming from about, hey, let's preserve them. Preservation is something I would have suggested. Could they have been preserved, or are they being taken down to perhaps maybe put them in a better state and bring them back?
Hopefully.
We do not know. We're hoping so. But I think it's something that perhaps maybe we could have been sensitized to.
Exactly. It could have been a message sent out, you know, to announce it or something.
So a few weeks back, we had talk about some of our artifacts being returned from where now? UK,
Europe,
or
yeah.
Germany or so. A few of them being returned, and you know, I wonder, like, you know, these things are valuable because people kept them, and you know, the age, they became rare, and people made them because of the how do I put it now? The importance people attach to it, the value now
Historical value, yeah.
rose. If those things were in this country,
Yeah.
would they have that much, you know,
value.
of a value?
So this is something I've
It's
always complained about.
entirely big NO. I am very sure of that. Because, I mean, look at everything. You know how monumental the TBS is? Started as a race course, hosted football games also. This was the pre-colonial era.
Yeah.
And then at 1960, that was where the Union Jack was lowered. It's a monument. It is a part. It is a.
Part of our history.
In fact, it marks the beginning of Nigeria, as it were. It is that big, and you know, we were there the last time, and it looked like a
It
junkyard.
looked like a junkyard, quite frankly. It was a ghost town.
And then you told me
Most part of
something.
it.
There's something Basino told me on that day. They said if you see pictures of this place in
Yeah.
its heyday,
Oh, it was
heyday.
beautiful.
in its heyday, and I was like,
This is where the
I
Queen
started
used
looking
to
for
go
those pictures.
functions, remember?
Yeah.
This was where the Queen used to be attended to or attend to guests. So you can imagine how big of a monument it is. It's very unfortunate, but that's not the only place in Nigeria that's derelict.
At all,
And I
at
also
all.
agree with you regarding, well, this is something personal to me. People have cried for the return of these artifacts from Europe or other countries. And I've always asked, are we going to be able to take care of them here? In museums outside the country that I visited, I know that factors as little as temperature is considered
When preserving.
preserving these things.
You're right.
Temperature, whether they're available for you to touch or even see, how many planes of glass are they kept behind, and all this. Very important. I was at Idari Hills 2 years ago, and I had been there from before 2 years before that. And there are certain things that the guides will tell you about. For instance, there's the scapula of this elephant, which you would find there. They tell a history of how hunters and elephants and plenty of stories like that. As of 2 years when I went back, it had degenerated to just a little piece. This is an elephant scapula, shoulder blade. It's huge, but it's just let out there in the open.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's the elephant, the hunters, and it's out there. It's rotting. It's perhaps maybe over 200 years old, but it's in such bad state. Everything there is in bad state. Nothing is being preserved deliberately. It's just open to the public. You can lift up the scapula and say, hey, take a picture.
Wow.
If your bag is big enough, maybe you can put
You
inside.
can even put it in, and that's not the
goodness
only
me.
place. Plenty of other places around Nigeria are.
Well,
Look at the view you get when you're climbing a cool bridge. The National Theatre is supposed to be something that at night, daytime,
lights
you should
up.
look at it and just smile.
War-
But now,
the War Museum,
look at that
for
place.
instance, I think in Enugu is another place where
at that place.
everything is just rotting away.
well, this is our way of calling for whoever is in charge and whoever it may concern. Please help us preserve these artifacts. Help us preserve the gates.
oh my God, too.
Yeah, preserve the
so-
gates.
yes, preserve
if
the
not
gates.
put them back, we'll
Yeah.
have them somewhere where we could always go and see them. And
Yeah.
this or these were the gates.
Of
well,
the TBS.
very likely.
Let's take a quick break then,
Yeah.
guys. But the gates are not closing on Wake Up Nigeria yet. We'll be back.
Titi with the cheese.